Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Top Tier TCG, where I talk about different decks and strategies on how to play them. Today's video choice is this Raging Bolt variation deck that I've been messing around with that I'm gonna take to the Portland regional event this weekend. I know this is probably like my sixth Raging Bolt deck that I've talked about, but I just wanted to test this deck out, and I'm gonna go try it in our local league challenge a few towns over. Should be at least 36 people. And I just want to see how this plays before I go to Portland, just in case. If I do good, I might just take it this way. If not, then I'm going to stick back to my original list. But I have been enjoying this online. It's just my PC is acting up, so I can't record the audio pretty well. But let's just get into it. I'm going to start off with the Pokemon choices here. I know the organization looks a little weird, but we're going to just jump right in. The first Pokemon I have in here is one of Koraidon, mainly using it for the Unreleashed and Onslaught. After I use a different ancient Pokemon, it'll do 180 damage, and of course if their weakness is fighting, it does double that. I only need one on there, kind of like helps with the prize trade, which is an issue I used to have before with Raging Bolt. And then of course we have one Latias EX for that free retreat. Because a majority of our Pokemon here are basics, we can utilize the ability. We're not going to use it to attack. And then we have two Raging Bolt EXs here. I used to have three, but I dumped it down to two. I've noticed that it forces me to play the smaller Pokemon, and it kind of puts the prize trade in my favor on these matches. So we can go with two, and we can just Night Stretcher or Super Rod to get them back in. But two should be fine for me. We're going to see how that really looks. And then I decided to throw in Cornerstone Ogerpon EX, only because at the Milwaukee Regionals, a Raging Bolt EX deck won. And if that follows suit, then I assume a lot of people are going to play Raging Bolt, which means a lot of people are going to play the Giraffe Rig line, where basic Pokemon can't attack. So we're throwing this guy in here just in case. This is my tech card. I'm going to need one of those, hopefully. And then I run three Hoots with the 80 HP with the ability Insomnia. Nothing much, really. I just have it at 80, so it's a little harder to knock out with the Dragapults. We run three of those in here. And of course, we have... Let's move over to the evolution line just so we can get that organized for you. We're going to do the three Hoots. And then we have the three Noctowls with the Jewel Seeker ability. I did run 2-2, but I decided 3-3 is a lot better. I kind of try to get the two basic Hoots out before that, and then next turn use the Knockdown if I really have to use that second one, and then find that third Hoot to use its ability. Been really useful, way more consistent than before. I really love it. We're almost there as a Terra Box deck, but this does pretty well for me, and it's only one retreat cost, so we can always attach an energy and get them out of the active zone if that happens. And then I run 4 Teal Mask Ogerpons, because I noticed what I need to do is get that Fan Rotom out. We're using it for its ability, Teal Dance. When you attach a grass energy to this Pokemon, you draw an extra card. Sometimes you have 3 of them out, sometimes you might have 4. That's very rare, but just to keep it consistent and to use the Jewel Seeker ability, you can't use it unless you have a Terra Pokemon in play. So we run 4 of those, and then we also have this Ditto right here. We use this for the beginning because we have like 3 or 4 basic Pokemon that are really good attackers. Generally the Raging Bolt, that's a baby Raging Bolt that I have in here. But for the ability transform to start, lets you find a basic Pokemon that doesn't have a rule box to it. So that includes EXs like Latias, Teal Mask, and the Raging Bolt, which is really nice because sometimes you can't find it, and this kind of gives you a better choice to see what your opponent's going to do in the beginning of the game, and you can kind of modify your game to that. And then of course we have one Pheasantipity EX for the ability Flip the Script. If once during your turn, if your Pokemon gets knocked out during your last turn, you may draw 3 cards. So it's really nice. One of, and then we have that Mew EX for the restart ability, and just in case we need to use genome hacking. Very rare that we'll use it, but if we do, it'll have to be pretty useful. Otherwise, you're not really playing this card. Just one. Then we have one Raging Bolt Baby. So with the Thunderburst Storm attack, for every energy attached to this Pokemon, it does 30 damage to one of your opponent's active or benched Pokemon you get to choose. Really good for knocking out those Dragapults or the Dreepies, any baby Pokemon, because a lot of decks are running Stage 2s right now. This is a really good way to get ahead, and it kind of like balances out the prize straight for you. Then we have one Fan Rotom. Some people run 2, but I'm deciding to run 1. That might not be in my favor, but I'm testing this out. For the ability Fan Call, search for 3 basic Pokemon with 100 HP or less. You're going to get your Ditto, you're going to get your Hoot, and you're going to get a Noctowl, or 2 Hoots and 1 Noctowl, or whatever you need to do. Get that combination there. Use this at the beginning of the game, and then you don't use it at all unless you have a stadium that we have in here, and we can use it for Assault Landing to get a quick knockout for one of the baby Pokemon. Again, just 1, maybe you're going to run 2. Then I have my Slitherwing here. This is more for the Burning Turbulence, does 120 damage, does 90 damage to itself. but if there's a weakness to fighting, it does 240. Knocks out the Pikachu because it has the opponent have fire damage or burn damage. So even with Pikachu's ability, it makes it to where it still gets knocked out, which is really nice. And Joltik is on fire right now, so we might have to keep this guy in there just to play it safe. So those are my Pokemon. I believe it's 21 Pokemon in total. Let's count it real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 Pokemon. Pretty hefty list of Pokemon. I know it's a fat combination, but we're testing out, see how it goes. And then we have our trainers here. Let me move all the energies out of the way. So we opted out from Prime Catcher for Unfair Stamp. This is really solid, I've noticed, against mirrors and against decks that are trying to get at, like, Dragapult, who has all those cards in hand, dumps them down to 2, and they might not even get what they want. If you get a Pokemon knocked out during your last turn, you get to draw 7 while your opponent draws 2. Oh, no, you draw 5, then your opponent draws 2. Really nice. And it doesn't even count as using the Iono, but I really like it, and I found ways to make it utilizable. Then we won 3 Ultra Balls, discard 2 cards from your hand, and then grab a Pokemon you want. Use it for any last minute stuff that you need, get the Noctowls out, all that good stuff. Then we have a lot of like energy things to come back, but first we have the energy retrieval. Grab 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile and put them in your hand. Just run one of those, get those grass energies out if you discarded them, or get that 1 electric or fighting energy you need to attach. You got 2 Night Stretchers. You can either grab a basic energy or a Pokemon, put it in your hand in case your Raging Bolt gets knocked out, or your Slytherin, whatever you need, just get it back, or get that energy back if you really need to get a quick knockout. Carry 2 of them there, it's become really useful. Then we have 4 Nest Balls, so we can make sure we get that Latias out, we can get that Teal Mask, and we can get the Fan Rotom out, because those are essential for the whole game. So we run 4 to get that consistency. And then I run 1 Jamming Tower against those Gardevoirs or anything that uses tools. This is really useful. If that Dragapult's using the Sparkling Crystal and they can't get that energy out or get that extra energy attachment, they have to only use 1. So they're forced to use the Jet Headbutt. But this has been really useful, and also against the Drifloon and the Screamtails, they use their Bravery Charm, gets them to get knocked out on their own. Really useful. Only keep 1. And I said useful like 100 times. Then we have 1 Iono. 1 is all we need, especially with the reset stamp. But use this late game. Your opponent shuffles their hand and you shuffle your hand, and then you draw as many prize cards as you have. So towards the end, if they're ahead and you can manage to use this card, go for it and do an attack. I like to play it against the Raging Bolt, really stops them in their tracks. Only carry 1. And then we have 4 Professor Sada's Vitality. Choose up to 2 of your ancient Pokemon and attach a basic energy from your discard pile to each of them. And then you draw 3 cards. Super useful card, broken right now. It's going to be sad when it goes away, but we carry 4 of those in there just to keep it consistent, because you are throwing away a lot of energies. But again, with those baby Pokemon in there, you're kind of conserving your energies a little more, and they're kind of forced to attack that baby one, so they're using up their resources to get that out of the way, and then you just bring all those energies back with those Sadas. Really useful. Then we have 1 Superior Energy Retrieval. I like to use this towards the end when I'm out of resources. Comes in clutch, get those 4 energies out, or get those 3 energy attaches that you need to do that one last knockout. Usually ends up being like a Blood Moon or Saluna. Get all of them in there. You discard 2 cards from your hand and grab 4 energy cards from your discard pile and put them in your hand. And then we have Super Rod. I like using this one just in case I have to discard some important cards in the beginning, like the Slitherwing, or if I have to get rid of the Koraidon at the beginning and then I need them back, put that Super Rod, get the Nest Ball, use Noctowl to get those resources, and we have them back on our bench. Or if I need a couple energies to use up a Crispin that I have in here, use that as well. And we only carry 1. Then we have 2 Area 0 under this. You need a Terra Pokemon to use it, but once you have 1 in play, you and your opponent, if we both have a Terra, can have up to 8 Pokemon on our bench. That's a lot of freaking Pokemon, which is useful for all the Pokemon in here. Get all those Teal Mask Ogreponds in there, and then once you use up your Noctowls, you kind of need the extra space, and then if they get rid of it, you just throw away your Noctowls and your Fan Rotoms. Easy fix. But I carry 2 in those, 2 in there for consistency, and just to get rid of your opponent's stadiums that they play. Then we have 1 Boss's Orders. Switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot. I haven't really used it. Without Prime Catcher, you find ways not to use it, but it does come in handy, beginning or end. Just 1 of those in here. We don't carry Pal Pad, but we do have 2 Crispins. But first we have 3 Earthen Vessels, which is down 1. I used to carry 4, but I've noticed 3 is enough, especially with all the Crispins we have in here. It might not work for you guys, but it's been working for me, so maybe try it out. We use the 3 Earthen Vessels, discard a card from your hand, and find 2 basic energies from your deck and put it in your hand. get the grass and the fighting, or get the fighting and the electric, whatever you need. Awesome first game thing, 3 of them only. And then biggest, weirdest thing is the 2 Crispin. Perfect at the beginning of the game with the baby Raging Bolt. If you have 1 energy attached already, you can just put 2 more the second turn and you can do a knockout on most baby Pokemon. And we have 2 of them. I'm running 2 only because I'm also carrying the... Where's he at? The Cornerstone. Especially if we do run into that Girafarig, I really want to make sure we have all the energies to do the attacks and knock them out as soon as possible, because they kind of use Professor Turo's scenario and they only have 1 Pokemon in the active spot. And if they get unlucky, you can knock them out pretty quick, and now you won the game. That's my lesson I learned from the last one. Regional I went to in Sacramento. I ended up facing Girafarig and had to take a whole loss. It sucked. But this is my deck list. What do you guys think about it? You're going to try it out. Now I'm going to go to the next portion of the video where I go to Reading. Probably not going to talk, but I will record some stuff and tell you about what the matchups were and how many rounds I did and how I got on this. So let's jump right over. Almost forgot, sorry. I also run 6 grass energy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 fighting energy and 3 electric energy. This has been a perfect balance. It's been working for everyone. It's been working for me. I don't see why you need any other amount of energies. Maybe you want to run Lily's Clefairy in there for some crazy stuff and add in a Psychic. Doesn't really work. I tried it. Not a fan. Maybe you could make it work, but I couldn't. But these are the energies, and let's get started with the tournament.
Okay, hey, what's up, guys? So I did the tournament. Well, it was a league challenge a couple towns over, and it ended up being 4 rounds. I placed 4th place, technically, I guess not tied to 3rd place, only because my opponent's percentage rate was lower than the other person's percentage rate that had their opponent, I guess. And that's how Pokemon does things, but my win rate was the same as the 3rd place win rate, so I'm happy with that. It's because I lost my first match and then won my other 3, but the other person won 3 and then lost their last one, so their opponent's percentages rate were a lot better. But I just want to talk about the 4 decks that I played real quick, and then I'll show you an example of the deck we put together. So the first deck I played was a Hydreigon EX, and that's who I lost to. I thought this was going to be a lot easier. Hydreigon's usually really easy to deal with, but this person was smart and used counter gain for attacking, and used a Howlucha to add those extra damage to my Teal Mask Ogerpon. I should have seen that coming, and I totally forgot about the counter gain when I was playing with him, and I was not able to knock him out with my Teal Mask Ogerpon. I do know that some people are playing Iron Leaves in their Raging Bolt decks, kind of for this issue right here. So I thought about maybe putting that in there just in case for the Portland Regional. This gentleman's also going, so if I face him again, we're going to straight up use that Iron Leaf, so I might have to tech that in. But I lost by a prize card, and I used the reset stamp, and he just happened to top deck what he needed, or else he would have been stuck. But lost that one. And then next we played the Bayonet EX with the Everlasting Darkness. I was scared of this one because there's a lot of item cards we use, but if you play smart, they can't really do much. I made sure they didn't have their Badoo out, knocked it out, and I used up all my item cards. I thinned out my deck pretty good, so you got to be really careful, but if you do it right, they're not able to do too much damage to you. But I won that match. And then right on EX, I also won. They used the Joltik with the Pikachu and stuff, but I had my Volcarona and my Koraidon available, and even if they knocked him out, I recycled them back in, Night Stretcher, all that good stuff. So it was a pretty easy matchup. Was able to get those wins pretty quick, but with the Iron Hands, they are able to knock you out pretty fast and get that double prize card or even triple prize card off you. So I guess watch out for that. And then with Dragapult EX, I was nervous, but I played all my cards right, and I managed to get the win playing smart. And my opponent didn't know my deck too well with their Baby Bolt and stuff, so they kind of didn't know who to knock out. But I ended up being able to knock out my last prize card using the Baby Bolt. But yeah, those are those decks that I played. We can exit that, and we're just going to do a matchup real quick with the reset stamp version of this. You guys excited for Portland? I am. One more day. One more day. Let me grab my coffee. Do I want to go first? I realize with this deck, it's like a 50-50 whether I go first or second. Just got to promote the right Pokemon up front. So I really don't mind going first with this one. It honestly helps me set up, even within mirrors. But this is possibly the worst hand. Okay. Mulligan, but that's fine. I think this is a decent setup here with the fan rotom. I'm gonna put that down just in case they have a pressure on. Okay. The Chi-Yu, okay, it's a Charizard deck. I'm gonna put down the Teal Mask Ogerpon, and we are going to... This is what my strategy is right now. Ditto, Hoot Hoot, and then the Noctowl. And, oh, there's my cat trying to get in. Unfortunate. We're gonna Nest Ball the Latias EX. And I think we're gonna retreat. And for the sake of just being able to knock out stuff, I might... No, I think this is what we're gonna do. Always, I'm using the Baby Bolt first for me. This Chio's not gonna be able to do much. And I'm gonna discard that energy. Electric, grass. And I'm gonna use the Teal Dance ability. Next turn, we're going to use Crispin to put on the Raging Bolt to knock out all the little baby Pokemon they're going to have. Alright, and we're going to end our turn. I see Buddy Buddy popping, of course. Another Puffin. He's going to get those Pidgeys out. I guess in this situation, the Iron Leaves would probably be a pretty good idea as well. Especially once they evolve their Charizard and knock out your Teal Mask Ogerpon, because that's what they're going to try to attack. I think that'd be a good strategy to throw that in there. And I really think Charizard's going to get more popular with that Dragapult. So I might just tech in the Charizard. Or not the Iron Leaves, not the Charizard, sorry. Okay, it's going to Pidgeotto. And then Charmeleon. So which one do we want to knock out? I think I'm going to knock out the Pidgeotto. I'm going to Crispin, and then, whatchamacallit. I think, oh, we have the Palpad in here, good. I also didn't have the Palpad available. I couldn't find my Palpad. I only have one, apparently. I thought I had more. But we're gonna Area 0 Underdeaths in this. Yeah, we'll Area 0 Underdeaths. And then we're gonna Crispin. Fist, and yeah, we need a Fist in the grass. Excuse my cat, he's tweaking. He's a crazy gentleman. Stop, Theo. Okay, so we got that going. And I think I am gonna attach the Teal Dance. We got another Hoot Hoot. We're gonna play him. And I think just to be safe. Oof, okay. Like, I want the other Teal Mask Ogerpon. But I want to make sure I have... Oh, that was an accident. Well, we're following through. I'm gonna grab the other Teal Mask, just in case. Especially if he jamming towers me or something like that. Okay, and now we're gonna go Thunderbird Storm, and we're gonna knock out his, Pidgeotto. Hopefully he doesn't have a rare candy. And he doesn't have the Pidgeot available. Okay, got Night Stretcher. And if he knocks out my Raging Bolt, that's fine. I'll use that Night Stretcher to grab the Grass Energy. My cat is tweaking hard right now. He chose like the worst day. Yeah, he's gonna evolve in a Charizard. Oh no, my mistake. I totally thought he was. Okay, well, to avoid him doing that again, I'm going to knock out his Chi-Yu. I'm gonna grab a Grass Energy here. I am going to Nest Ball that, the bigger Raging Bolt. Yeah, attach that grass energy. If we can find that unfair stamp, that'll be perfect. Okay, I'm going to attach this to a Raging Bolt, and then can I use Sada? Yep, let's use Sada here. I'm not going to attach anything to that bolt. And there we go, we hit the unfair stamp. And I'm going to put back in the Iono, since we already have that other Crispin. Throw that in there just for late game stuff. And we're gonna, boom. Hopefully they don't top deck what they need. We're gonna just Dragon Headbutt. And hopefully they're stalled pretty badly. Cool, we have that boss's order as well. If anything, if he puts out the Pheasantipity, I might put in the active spot and just knock out his Charmeleon. Oh, they Iono'd. They top deck. Well, at least now they can't Arven to get that rare candy. Got the Fez. Another Buddy Poffin. Dusknoir, okay. And see, that's the thing about not having that Prime Catcher. I can't go get his Pheasantipity while using a Sada. So I guess that's the trade-off you get here. With the unfair stamp, it's less available to grab something you need to knock it out. But that doesn't mean I cannot knock out his Pidgey. He's gonna put that Pidgeotto. Or is it the Chiyu? Yeah. There you go, there's the Charizard. And I'm totally okay with that. If he puts the Charizard in the active, I'm chilling. No, he's gonna put the Chiyu in the active. So we're definitely gonna knock out the Chiyu again. Nope, he's gonna knock us out. He's catching up, he's catching up. So I'm gonna put my Fan Rotom. Okay. And we are going to attach that grass energy. And we have, oh my god. So I think I'm gonna put Mew out just to be able to do that extra draw. And I'm gonna put the other Teal Max Pun in there. And I'm gonna use the Noctowl to grab that boss's order and knock out whatever's. And I think what I'm gonna do here, 3, 2, this is hard. Actually, yeah, I think we're going to okay. I am gonna Sada. Just throw one more energy in here. Do the I'm gonna use this Noctowl. This is risky here, but gotta try it now. We're gonna Earthen Vessel and Boss's Order. Dun 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 dun. I don't know how many grass energies are in there, so we're gonna at least put one in. Boot. Vessel. Get rid of that nest ball. Oh, my cat's really tweaking. I'm really sorry, guys. I need to get rid of this cat. I don't want him no more. Get him out of my life, dude. Theo, you're crazy. Crazy type shift. Okay. So, we're going to Bellowing Thunder. I'm gonna get rid of that and that. And what I'm hoping for is that he doesn't evolve into another Charizard or into the whatchamacallit, into the Pidgeot. If he has that rare candy Charizard, that's nuts. What's the combination gonna be here? Yeah, he might have it. Okay, Dusclops, or yeah, Dusclops. Might even give me an advantage if he does use that knockout. I hope he does. He just has no way to get that energy out right now. Okay, Art Zone. That's exactly what I wanted. We're gonna get rid of that. We're gonna get rid of that, and we're gonna get rid of that. Don't need them. Sometimes I like to get rid of the Mew towards the end, just because I have so many cards in my hand. That's probably the decision I should have made, but we live with what we do. There's the Arvin. Super Rod Defiance Band. I'm curious to what... Okay, he must have the Charizard. Does he? Oh, he hasn't used the Fez yet. Ugh, the Chiyu again, dude. Unfair stamp, okay. Yeah. We got the same thing, buddy. Did he hit it? Did he hit the rare candy? He Ultra Ball. Oh, he hit the rare candy. Yeah. For sure. Unless it's just a Charmeleon, which would be really sad for him. Oh, it's a Pidgeot. Okay, so he's gonna rare candy Pidgeot. Okay, he didn't have what he needed. Yes, we got really lucky on that one. Not the way you want to win, but, you know, had him use his resources with the unfair stamp. He wasn't able to bounce back as soon enough, and he had to forfeit. Anyways, that's the deck, guys. What do you think about it? Do you like it? Is it dumb? I might just switch back to Prime Catcher just because with the Hydreigon, if I had that Prime Catcher, it might have won me the match. And thanks, guys, for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe if you liked it. Peace.